So today we're going to take a look at what's going to happen if all of the Arab countries unite in the modern day. This union is going to include all of the Arab countries who are also Muslim majority countries, and pretty much all of this region is under the Arab control except for this country. But yeah, let's see what happens if they unite in the modern day. Let's see who they declare war on, how they expand, and all those other stuff. But before we get into this video, I want to talk about my new YouTube channel, where from now on I'll be uploading more Age of History 2 as well as territorial.io videos. You guys can also join the Discord via the link in the description. But now let's get right into the video. Now as we can see, the Arab Union is a very huge country. It stretches all the way from Oman in the east to Morocco in the west. And the leader of this country is probably Saudi Arabia because of obvious reasons, with the capital city of this country being Mecca. And I didn't say Riyadh because having Mecca as the capital city of this country would give the other countries morale because of how significant Mecca is to the Muslims. And also this country is probably very unstable right now because some of the countries here have ongoing civil wars such as Sudan, Somalia, Yemen, Syria, Iraq, as well as Libya. So in order to stabilize this country, or what I want to call a caliphate, yeah, the Arab Caliphate, the caliph must have some strategies to overcome all of this bad situation. And we're also going to have to skip 20 or 30 years into the future if we want to see a stable Arab Caliphate. So yeah, but in all of this period, we can see that the Arab Caliphate is now very stable and they've crushed all of the rebellious forces and all of these civil wars are now gone, and the Arab Caliphate now finally has the strength to go on military campaigns, for which now we can see that they are recruiting troops from all over the country. Their economy is not very good right now, but it isn't also that bad, and their first invasion is going to be of Eritrea because they want to connect all of their lands here. So yeah, immediately we can see that the Caliphate troops are now pushing into Eritrea, and they're pushing in from both sides, and eventually all of Eritrea is under the Caliphate control. And later on we can see that all of Eritrea got completely annexed, but this was just a minor campaign for the Arab Caliphate, and now they're gonna plan for a real invasion, and we all know where this is going. And pretty much most of these countries all hate Israel, and thus we can see that the Arab Caliphate declares war on Israel. Now in real life, the United States would probably come to rescue Israel, and the European countries would also join, but just to give the Arab Caliphate an advantage, we can see that Israel is pretty much on their own, and being on their own they won't be able to fight the Arab Caliphate. But yeah, let's see. Immediately we can see that the Arab troops are now pushing into Israel from the southern parts, and they've connected both these parts of lands. They also push in from the north, and we can see that Jerusalem was taken, and with this we can see that pretty much all of Israel is now under the Arab control. And in a peace negotiation we can see that obviously all of Israel got completely annexed, and now all of the Arab Caliphate is connected via land. And now with both these minor invasions taking place, the Arab Caliphate is gonna prepare for a major invasion, which might be a little unexpected to you guys. But yeah, before I tell you why they're gonna be invading that country, let me give you the story. So basically both Spain as well as Portugal used to have an Islamic empire. They had those from the 8th century to the 15th century, but between that time the Reconquista was happening. Basically that was the Christians kicking out the Muslims from Spain, or what the Muslims used to call Al-Andalus. And now the Arab Caliphate wants Al-Andalus back, and they want to do a Reconquista. So yeah, might seem a little weird to you guys, but yeah, this kind of happens. And now we can see that the Arab Caliphate has declared war on both Portugal as well as Spain. I should also mention the fact that major alliances like NATO, CSTO, the EU or the UN, they do not exist in my videos. If they would exist, they would not let these countries to expand. So yeah, no one is coming for Portugal as well as Spain's rescue. And now let's see. We can see that the Arabs have made a naval landing down in the southern parts of Spain, and they push around the coast. Eventually we can see that they also push into Portugal, and now the Muslims are in the Iberian Peninsula. Eventually more and more troops arrive on the front lines, who now push around the coast. We can see that during this time, the Arab Caliphate also constructs a good navy over here in the Mediterranean, which they use to take out these islands. And we can see that they also make a naval landing over here in Catalonia. We can see that the troops in Portugal now push in, and now they are at the gates of Lisbon. The troops continue to take the coastline, and these troops in Catalonia also push around. And now we can see that the Spanish have lost all of their coast with the Mediterranean Sea, and now things are not looking good for Spain and Portugal. Eventually, after a decisive military campaign, we can see that Lisbon was taken. The Portuguese don't surrender, but they're also unable to push these guys back. We can see that one army of the Caliphate is now pushing towards Madrid. This army reaches the gates of Madrid, and the Battle of Madrid ends in a decisive Arab victory. With this, the morale amongst the soldiers has been lost. The Portuguese just go ahead and surrender. The Arabs still push around, securing more and more regions. But finally, with all of this chaos, we can see that the remaining parts of Spain also go ahead and surrender. And this was a decisive victory for the Arab Caliphate. And as expected, we can see that both these guys got completely annexed. And now the Iberian Peninsula is renamed as Al-Andalus. Yeah, cool name. But the Arabs won't be pushing further into Europe, and instead they're gonna focus in the east. But yeah, I should also mention the fact that the Arab Caliphate, after being stable and after having a good economy, is most likely the second strongest country in the world, stronger than China and Russia, but slightly behind the United States. But yeah, in the east, they have a very major country to invade, and that country is going to be Turkey. Now, they're doing this for many reasons. One of the reasons why is that they want to have a control over the Bosphorus Strait. Also, Turkey is very rich and full of good infrastructure, and the Arabs can further strengthen their position in the Mediterranean Sea. So yeah, that's a lot of reasons. But because the Arab Caliphate has a very good military and they rank as the second strongest military in the world, the Turks are unable to push them back, even though I know the fact that the Turks are also not weak. But against all of the Arab Caliphate, they don't stand a chance. We can see that they have lost all of their eastern provinces, and now the Arab troops are pushing down the coast. Eventually, we can see that most of the southern coast is taken, and now more and more troops arrive on the front lines, and they start pushing towards the capital city of Ankara. Eventually, after many months of pushing in, we can see that Ankara was finally taken, but the Turks still do not surrender as they shift the capital city to Istanbul. But the Arab Caliphate's navy comes into action as they make a landing in Gallipoli and they push in, and we can see that Istanbul was also taken. And now, after losing most of their major cities, which also includes their capital city, we can see that the remaining parts of Turkey just go ahead and surrender. And this was by far the bloodiest war that the Arab Caliphate had ever seen. And as expected, we can see that all of Turkey got completely annexed, and the Arabs would be able to control Turkey because of the Muslim majority population. But now it has been 45 to 50 years, and the Caliph, who was very young at the beginning, is now very old, and he gets so old that now he dies. But today I'm not going to be doing the same thing that I always do. Other countries would also be included, but regardless, the empire is still going to get divided. So yeah, now let's take a look at these divisions. Okay, so if we take a look at these divisions, we can see that the oldest son got himself all of the original lands. I mean, all of these are original, but the capital city is here. The second oldest son got himself Al-Andalus, as well as all of Western Africa, and the youngest son got himself all of these parts. And now let's look at the other countries which got involved. We can see that because of the civil war, Italy took some parts of Algeria and most of Tunisia. The Greeks got themselves all of Western Turkey, which they always want. So yeah, hope it was interesting. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and tell me what you guys want to see in the future. And thank you for watching.